Good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome also from my side to today's conference at MBB Research. And a warm welcome to Mr. Zalewski. Mr. Zalewski, he will present Viscom SE, a leader in automated optical and X-ray inspection systems for key industries. After the presentation of some 20 minutes, we will also have some time for questions. And before we dive in, this conference is being recorded and all participants are in a listen-only mode. If you have any questions, please submit them using the chat box. Viscom is part of our coverage at MBB Research, and I will provide you also a link to our latest research. And now I want to hand over to Mr. Zalewski. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And welcome to the Viscom presentation here at the High Tech Engineering Online Conference. Started my timer, so I plan about 20 minutes of presentation, and then we have some time for questions and answers. We make technology safe, reliable, and sustainable. So we make optical and X-ray inspection systems, and our customers' products need to be safe, reliable, and that in a sustainable way. I structured the presentation in 4 chapters. So I'll give you a Viscom overview first, then talk about our products and technology, then a little bit about markets and segments, and give you an outlook what we are expecting in the future. Viscom was founded in 1984, so a little over 40 years old. We are a high-tech machine building company located in Hanover, Germany. We have about 465 employees worldwide, currently in 5 business units that we call CCUs, so customer care units, with a strong focus on customers and their installations. We do that in 10 locations with 7 subsidiaries in Europe, Asia, and the Americas. We are the #1 European company in our market. So with our product portfolio of optical and X-ray inspection and metrology machines, there's maybe one other supplier, a smaller one in Germany. And other than that, in Europe, we only have market players who have part of our product portfolio. So with our full product portfolio, we serve markets in the whole world with, let's say, a little bit more than 50% of our business in Europe. And the other half is in Asia and in North America mainly. With a huge install base of systems over the years, we have a strong customer base in the electronics manufacturing industry, but also in other industries. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. Sorry, my computer gives me some information that I have to click on. So the executive board, here you see Dirk Schwingel, our CFO, and some of you know him from the quarterly presentations. And on the right side, it's Dr. Martin Heuser, our CTO and co-founder of Viscom. In the supervisory board, there's Volker Pape in the middle, our vice chair, and the other founder of Viscom, Martin Heuser and Volker Pape, also major shareholders of the Viscom shares. Professor Overmaier, here from the University of Hanover, is in the technology and engineering area, and our chairwoman of the supervisory board is Professor Michelle Morner. This is our campus here in Hanover in Germany. So with over 20,000 square meters of office and production and assembly space, we have all R&D and development, all assembly and application done here in our headquarters, and we ship our products, our machines from Hanover to the customers in the world. Here's a lineup of our standard systems. You see there's a certain, they all look the same, but they have different technology inside. So it's optical and X-ray inspection systems on a platform basis, which allows us to easily adapt standard systems to custom specific adaptations, but also normalize actually the different parts that we need and reduce assembly time a lot. So this redesign of our product portfolio was done about 3 to 5 years ago, or started, and it's almost finished. You see one system that sticks out, that is an AOXI. So AOI is for automatic optical inspection, and AXI is for automatic X-ray inspection. There's a combined system that's pretty unique in the world, and that's also very popular in automotive electronics, where you can do optical and X-ray inspection simultaneously, and you pretty much inspect everything that's visible, like components and solder joints, with camera and optical inspection, and the hidden defects and hidden solder joints are inspected with automatic X-ray inspection. So one of our, maybe our core business is the electronics industry. In PCB assembly, this is a typical PCB assembly line, how all electronics around us are made. So that's in principle how all these automatic assembly lines look like. It starts with a bare board. You see a bare board that is just like the green board with the connectors on it, so the plated connectors. And it starts with paste printing. So solder paste is printed where the components will be put later on. And the first inspection step in the automatic line is the 3D solder paste inspection. So we use cameras, actually 4 or 8 cameras with an angular view, to really measure the height of the printed paste, which is about, in standard case, 200 micrometer thick. So we measure the height, we measure the volume, and the area where the paste is printed. If there's a defect or some misprint happening very early on in the production phase, the system gives an alarm, and that board is either sorted out or cleaned and reprinted. So that serves very early on to avoid the defect costs by putting components on it later on. So first inspection step, very popular and very basic as well. You see placement machines after that, only 2 in this case. Sometimes there are 10 placement, so pick and place robots in a row that place these components, so chip components, ICs, so all the electronics into the paste of the PCB. And there could be thousands of components placed on a regular board. And after the placement, 3D AOI system is used as a next inspection step to make sure that all the components are in the right place, that there are the right components, nothing is missing, nothing is misaligned. So if there's a misalignment of any placed component, in this case, you can still do a repair or reject the board before you start soldering it with the solder paste in the solder oven. So the oven, this long thing in the middle, is pretty much like a pizza oven with 220 degrees Celsius or roundabout, which melts the solder paste and creates these solder joints between the placed components and the printed circuit board. And after that is the most significant inspection step, because pretty much the electronics is finished. And we have a post-reflow inspection, which which finds every defect and every defect in the process before the board is shipped to its final use. You see a verification station here as well. The verification station is the last human operator who can, in the past, repair something, or in this case, confirms the defect or rejects the defect. And I come to that later. Offline or at line, we can also do failure analysis with manual X-ray inspection. So we cover all the inspection steps of these PCB assembly lines, and there are many systems installed around the world for almost every kind of electronic component that you can imagine. Other inspection technology from Viscom is, besides the optical and X-ray inspection for the printed circuit boards, is device inspection. We also do industrial applications for larger components, mechanical components, but all of these have in common that we do automatic inspection. So we use automatic handling, automatic classification software to do mass or serial production inspection and find defects in these processes. Microelectronics inspection, we do wire bond inspection for a long time, but we also have new applications in power electronics and backend of semiconductor. And something that we started with in 1996, 1998 around is our own design of open microfocus X-ray tubes up to 320 kilovolts, so very high powered open microfocus tube that are manufactured here in Hanover and are shipped to other metrology companies. So that's a component business. We use these tubes in some of our systems, but we also sell them to customers who make their own applications and machines with open microfocus X-ray tubes. Something we started actually more than 10 years ago with the first battery cell inspections that were coin cells for wearables. So there was, I think the initial thing was something for a wearable device that where the coin cell needed to be checked if there's any short circuit after the drop test of 2 meters. If the battery actually gets a short circuit, it gets very hot and it can even start burning, and you don't want that in any wearable device. So that's how it started. We founded there's a spin-off, the Exacom company. It's a Viscom company that uses our standard technology, but in the field of battery cell inspection. And we offer the complete line application, including handling of the battery cells, automatic X-ray inspection, and this for all different kinds of cells in coin, pouch, or in round cells. So pretty much we are a high-tech machine building company. We use our standard systems, adapt them to some special configurations for certain heavy parts. Like here we have an example of inverter for renewable energy conversion or charging equipment. So those are heavy boxes or heavy devices that need X-ray inspection to make sure that all the connections in these high power, high voltage applications are working. Viscom's competence is also in software. That's how we started actually over 40 years ago as pioneers of image processing. Our founders started with a software package for automatic image processing or image analysis. And software is still one of the core competences of Viscom. We actually put this together in our vConnect suite. vConnect combines all the customer experience things that have to do with either statistical process control, with machine maintenance and preventive maintenance things. We can even, or we do offer AI training software via vConnect, which is a cloud-based service. That's our own cloud services that we offer to customers. If customers are not comfortable with sharing their data in our cloud, which is a secure cloud that we host either here in Germany, but also in our overseas regions, then we can also do on-premise solutions with the same functionality. But it's clear that cloud services have a future in our industry. Let me talk a little bit about artificial intelligence applications. So we have our own data scientist team. We do that for a long time and use large language models on our own platform for an internal chatbot, like a co-pilot for our Viscom database. But we also plan on offering that more extensive to our customers in service and support applications. But the main applications of artificial intelligence in our products are the convolutional neural networks for image processing, so object detection, segmentation, and classification. And we use some machine learning algorithms for optimizing algorithms, etc. So it's basically three things in our products where we use AI. One is programming, so creating inspection programs. We have a large database of images of components, especially in the electronics assembly field. So that data is used to train models for programming, but also for analysis. And one of our biggest advantages is that we have the largest database that you can imagine of all kinds of defects. A single customer wouldn't be able to gather all these defect examples because they simply don't have enough defect examples of a certain component type. And we have a way of collecting this data in an anonymous way and offer these training data to our customers. In image analysis, it's basically segmentation, finding features in images like void detection, so voids in area solder joints for heat dissipation actually can easily be detected with a trained AI model. And it was actually the first application is the classification and assisted verification for the operator at the verification station. And I want to talk about that a little bit more in a moment. So the AI assisted verification, if the machine in the inspection line, so in the automatic assembly line, detects a defect and presents it to the operator has the option to confirm the defect or reject the defect. In the background, there's an AI model assisting the operator. So if the operator makes a decision and says, oh, I allow this defect that the machine already found, if nothing else happens, then a defective part goes into the field, and that's what we want to avoid with this. The AI assistant then marks this as in my, the probability for this being a real defect is in this case 98%. So please review that. And this goes to today's applications where a trained AI model makes decisions for the humans, because for the simple parts, the human is not asked anymore, is this a real defect or is this one that you want to reject? So that supports the operator, that avoids human errors and also reduces the workload and finally improves production quality significantly. About Viscom, our target industries, so we have 5 columns. Those are the 5 customer care units: SMT inspection solutions, industrial or device inspection, then the non-destructive test or manual X-ray inspection, which also has the production of the open microfocus X-ray tubes. The microelectronics inspection, wire bond, we do for a long time, and we see new applications in power modules and back end of semiconductor, and the battery inspection with Hexacom. So our target industries, again, what are the products of our customers in these in these customer care units? In SMT, it's a big share of automotive electronics, because quality demand in automotive is very high, but also in data center and AI, which is large server boards in data centers. We see a significant volume there, and we also project a large volume in the future. And also with high reliability is aerospace and defense electronics. So all in defense is based somehow on electronics these days, and we see a higher demand there. Customers are typically EMS or T1 suppliers for the electronics. In industrial device inspection is portables, tablets, cell phones, notebooks, wearables as well, but also box-built devices like communication devices, even for military applications. Let's say a pager with some components in there that shouldn't be in there. That's something that we can detect with our automatic X-ray systems. So ODMs and contract manufacturers are customers for this segment. In NDT and MXI, failure analysis, 3D computed tomography. So when you do like long exposure 3D detailed analysis, That's what you can do with our offline systems as well. And that's used in electronic manufacturing services, but also for other equipment manufacturers with our X-ray tubes. And in microelectronics inspection, power modules, IGBT, silicon carbide applications are becoming more popular, not only in automotive, but in mobility, for example, for trains and renewable energy conversion. So we see here the back end of the semiconductor industry, the chip makers, as well as target customers in battery inspection for coin pouch and round cells. The gigafactories, in Europe, they suffered a blow last year. That wasn't a good year for the European battery manufacturing initiatives, but we see a lot of smaller prototype lines, and we expect future gigafactories here. But we also have customers in North America, and we're looking at Asia, which is certainly the highest volume. Some outlook, we don't make these 5-year projections, but to see our core business is electronics production. We see growth globally in electronics production, so steady growth with about 4.5% average per year until 2035. This is for critical components only, so it doesn't include consumer. But since this was used to compare it to what is European production, what is global production, but also in EU, we see significant growth in automation, defense, health, and renewables. The other expected market drivers are robotic and automation, higher than electronics. We will see more automation in worldwide assembly production. The server and data center industry, driven by AI computation demand, is pretty strong right now. Another study says 19% per year, and we can certainly see high demand. I talked about defense, and also cybersecurity is increasing battery production, aerospace, and the digital services I talked about. So numbers today. So we published half-year numbers, and you can see that we pretty much expected for 2025 a sidestep. The numbers are as expected. We're still looking for some reviving of the economies, especially in Germany and Europe. But we see some stronger markets in China and Asia already. And we also look at what after maybe hopefully the tariff turmoil in the United States is behind us, that we see some more steady numbers there as well. Our guidance unchanged for this year, 80 to 90 million euros with 2 to 5% EBIT margin. So that's the numbers we are looking at right now. And in the trend, we see automotive EU will certainly invest more cautiously, but we see some growth there in Asia. We are the technology leader. We will build on that and also expand our other units other than electronics manufacturing. And I think I talked about that. So let me close with what we do. We make technology safe, reliable, and sustainable again. And we see a lot of areas that are growing, and we are ready with our technology to serve those markets. I would like to close with that and go back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Zalewski. And we received some questions already, so let's directly dive in. And I would like to start with a really interesting one. You have mentioned the AI integration in your systems. Is AI integration allowing you already to capture higher value per systems sold?
Yes, of course. It's a business model behind it. In our customers' industries, it's a little conservative. So any repeat payment models are not very popular so far, but we offer that, especially for the cloud services and also AI functions and AI servers behind that. It's in the beginning, we probably have less than 100 customers using it right now, but it's a very strong tool, and over time this will be a strong part of the market. Yes.
Perfect. Could you give us some color or updates on whether you are already seeing tangible progress in your non-automotive segments and any signs of a recovery in the European automotive electronics market?
Let me start with the recovery in the automotive electronics market. There are big changes going on. So our year-long key customers face significant challenges in the Chinese market. We have a lot of overcapacity in those established tier one suppliers, but we see some have actually a product line that is successful right now and that is growing. But it's overall, I would say it's not growing so far, but it's changing. We have more EMS, so electronic manufacturing services, going into the field of automotive electronics, because today's demand is more in the computing area. You have almost server computers for autonomous driving and so on. And this is also an expertise of the typical EMS services who make computers and notebooks and so on. So that's a changing factor. Our customers and let's say the traditional automotive companies have a lot of experience in making these automotive products very robust, with a high temperature range that's not used in consumer, and all the vibration that's going on. So there's some consolidation in the market, but over time I see that there is demand, and we are winning new customers at the same time, because with our experience in automotive quality, we have a market for that. Yes. Oh, and the first part of the question was if our non-electronics business units or customer care units see some success. I must say yes. In the industrial and device inspection, we have new customers and we have new applications, so that's growing. And we're also very strong in the OEM business with our X-ray tubes, because we have a new development that's pretty unique in the market. It's a niche market as well. There are few manufacturers of these open microfocus tubes, and we have a 320 kV tube that nobody else has, with a very high power signature, and that's something that gives us a good market right now.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for answering this question. And a quite related one, your outlook suggests a growth reacceleration from 2026. What are the key inflection points that could bring Viscom back to sustainable growth? And is it tied more to a recovery in the automotive, or is it more to other verticals?
So, yeah, first of all, we're not counting on automotive alone. I mean, automotive will, like the numbers and the studies show, over the years will have a certain growth in Europe, maybe less than globally. But we're not counting growing on automotive. The other things like aerospace and defense is a higher growth rate. Robotic and automation will also be significant, because we will see probably a change in the automation of manufacturing, especially onshoring manufacturing in North America. I think this will be going on with a lot of automation. So that's a market. And space, we see some volume in space already, satellites and so on. So I think we can expect very high and demanding applications there, more of them. And we have the equipment to ensure quality for those missions as well.
Perfect. Thanks a lot for answering this question, and also thank you a lot for being part in our conference today, Mr. Zalewski. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, and the next event has started already. It's Eichstron, so I provided a link for everybody to join the next presentation. But for some final statements, I would like to hand it back to you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. And so I end with the disclaimer. Of course, some put it at the beginning, I put it at the end. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, and see you in the next event. Bye.
Thank you very much.